start with Quantum Touch?
At first, I do have my own holistic skincare studio in Maryland, in the United States. That's my main business, but I have a different pillar with my business. One of the pillar is I have a Japanese blog that I use as a consulting tool for the wellness practitioner. And I intended to create that for the Japanese audience, but the Japanese people have all over the world. So ended up I have a clients UK, Australia, and different place. And the US and Japan mainly. And then one of the consulted client, one time he said, Mayumi-san, this book, Your Healing Hands by Richard Gordon, he had that in Japanese. This is like a hands-on tool, like a textbook in Japan. Most of the very good practitioners, they have read this book and then they all have it. So I was like, okay, I never read that before. So I did a little research. And then, this Richard Gordon, he's American. So I don't have to order through the Amazon Japan and ship from Japan. I can order in here. And then I read it. And I realized that I have, I'm an esthetician. And my mentor is, she's already retired. Her name is Carol Walderman. She's called the legend in this aesthetic industry in the United States. She's almost the founder of the starting aesthetic school in the United States. And in our program in the massage, there are many of the components of the polarity therapy was already there. And I was, we are even teaching, polarity hold or cradle position. And I was once in the time, I was instructor too. So I was teaching that, but I never knew what it was. And then both things connected. I already knew this, but I really didn't even research of the really depth of meaning. And this is not a coincidence. I have to study. I have to investigate and I have to research further. What's this lead to? That made me lead to the quantum touch. And then immediately, all the synchronicity around that time, Joe Dispenza's book, one of my client, one of my friend gifted me. You should read this book, very interesting. And then I was like, wow, very interesting indeed. And then quantum touch is, almost doing the same thing, but in a different method. I mean, different way of approaching it. So I was like, okay, this is very interesting. And then just to keep on going, and then where I am now.
So first you were an esthetician, and you kind of started to have this awareness. And then you were introduced to these energy modalities.
Yes, from the beginning, Mrs. Walderman, she already studied Reiki, so energy work and different books. While I was, as a student, when I was in a school, I was introduced to the energy work. And then I start reading it. And when I start doing the facial, all my clients were start saying, no, this is not facial, Mayumi. This is, you are doing something more. This is healing. You are doing a healing work. And it was very difficult for me to accept that because I didn't know what I was doing. And to be honest with you, in the beginning, I even didn't believe the Reiki. I grew up in Japan and I lived there for 20 years. After college, I started working overseas and I never heard of Reiki. And people say, oh, that's in Japanese energy modality. People do that with the 6 people and they are doing that in hospital. I said, no, I don't think so. I never heard of it. I never experienced it. And why I am native Japanese, don't know anything about it. So I thought that these people are fake. And then I started taking a Reiki class. And then indeed it is the research. And then, yes, it was from Japan. But that was after the World War II. Japan lost to America, and then MacArthur, he came and he just forbid this type of treatment is witchcraft, so you cannot do it. So those people who are doing Reiki went underground. In the meantime, one of the recipients was Japanese American, and then she came from Hawaii and experienced the treatment. She went back to Hawaii, started teaching. That's the Usui Reiki style. And then went to Germany and different place. And then actually to Japan around the 80s or probably the 90s, start to import it back to Japan. And then Japanese people are aware, oh my gosh, wow, this is rigid and existed. Okay, we will start learning. So now in Japan, Reiki is very common, but actually it was more reintroduced way.
So was Reiki very common prior to World War II in Japan?
Or I really don't know. I never did energy work. I was a student. I was kid, and academic thing was the first goal, passing the entrance exam to the high school and college. We consumed most of our youth into the academic goals. So I really never, experienced it. But it's Eastern medicine is there.
Yeah.
And, in Japan, mainly the Buddhism and Shinto is the main thing. So we know something doesn't exist. It's not the fake. In the nature, everything is something more greater. Does always exist. So we have a different type of still ritual as a customs we still do. So it wasn't really, really foreign to me. But Reiki was, to me, I never heard of it. And then, so when the Reiki teachers, in Japan, they do this. They never even been to Japan. And then they are just saying that like a parrot. And you really don't know. I grew up with it. So it was very difficult for me to accept that. But now I know.
So your clients were noticing that your facials were more than just a facial before you learned Reiki?
Yes.
See, I find that fascinating, and I think it really speaks to just the power and the simplicity of what Richard Gordon teaches as quantum touch. Because when you break it down, it's just simple stuff that we do day to day, whether we realize it or not. And I think some of us, we might just unconsciously do it and not realize it. And I think that really speaks to the beauty of it.
Yes, you don't have to be anything superior. We already possess the way this power, just to learn how to use it.
Yeah. Okay, so then you took your first workshop with quantum touch, and then where did you go from there?
Oh, I really like it already. So I start taking it the closest class as possible, 1, 2, 3, and then after finish taking, I did apply for the practitioner in 3 months because I'm lucky. I'm already established, have a client. So I did a lot. I send the email to my clients. I want to finish this completion of the 90 hours. So while I'm going to complete this, earning these hours, I will offer you as a, special price. And then after sending an email, I want to have it. So 90 hours was
so that was easy for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And then what did your clients think of it?
Many of them like it. But I have a different type of clients. So some of them I think they are a little concerned. Mayumi, are you going to stop aesthetics? And are you going to start doing this energy work? I said, no. And if there is some kind of, I don't want that, then I don't talk about it. I don't do. And my setting is always the best for the clients today. Something serves them, they can receive. If they don't want, they don't have to receive. So there is nothing intrusive. I'm not trying to make you something, let them aware. They don't have to worry or fear.
Yeah, that really speaks to the whole idea that it's all self-healing, right? As a practitioner, we kind of create this space of energy. And then as the recipient, you get to decide if you want it, if you don't, and trusting that your body knows what to do with it.
Yes. And I talk very simply and easy. It's like, chi, flow of chi. I'm just making a flow of chi, the life force energy, very nicely and an even flow. And then you get balanced. That's all I'm doing. I don't see, I don't hear anything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's funny. And I kind of have to laugh sometimes to myself because I have some friends that aren't interested in it either, which is fine. I totally respect that. We don't need to talk about it. But sometimes they just linger around me, right?
Yeah.
Tell me they're not into energy stuff at all. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, they know they like your energy, attracted to it, but they some kind of it's okay. Like my husband, I think I submit one time the email. He's more open-minded now.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh my gosh, this is so cultish, Mayumi. You are crazy. He thinks that I'm doing is crazy, but he started to notice that I get contacted by different countries. People want to do the quantum touch, and then some of the people I never met just received the email or something like that. And then I bring the income to the household, so he cannot deny it. There is a demand in this world. So I don't talk about, I'm crazy. That's fine. But,
yeah. And I think that's another cool thing about it. It's not a spiritual belief. It's not a religion. It's just, I like to think of it, it's a way of life. Like it's a tool that
it's a life skill.
Exactly. It's a life skill. And then you can apply, like if you have spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, you can totally bring that in, but we're not teaching a belief in itself.
Yes, that I have to say that I had a very difficult time to put out what I'm doing. I was doing some kind of energy work with the facial from before, but I never really put on the website or up until I encountered quantum touch. Because I had a difficult time to representing this energy work organizations, because some of them I felt cultish. You worship somebody. I respect someone, but I don't blindly follow whatever they say or anything. I have my own will and then own learning. So whatever I think I need to take it, I will take it. But sometimes I had a concern, little cultish. But quantum touch was a very healthy environment. Everybody looks more grounded, happy, and lighter. So I was like, okay, this is what I wanted. I can belong to this organization, and I can put them, name on it. I'm not, feel embarrassed or, I don't want them to think that I'm associated with this or, So it took me for a long time, probably more than 10 years to put it out there.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I totally understand that concept too. I mean, my training is in the healthcare field. And when I worked in healthcare, I didn't feel like there was a place for it. And it was really hard for me to actually articulate like what I was doing or even why I was doing it. And even now, sometimes I'll get nervous, I guess, explaining. But I think the more I run the techniques and I live in the energy, it makes it easier. And you start to find your flow.
Yes.
So how did you notice your business before and after learning quantum touch and adding quantum touch into the business?
Actually, it's opened up a lot more different type of clientele. Of course, majority of my clients want to do something with the skincare. I have anti-aging, one of my strong specialty. Other one is acne skin. On top of that, I have noticed that people want to get energy together. So oftentimes I start receiving question that I want to get the energy work and the facial. Do I have to make two different appointments, or how should I do? So people are finding me with the specific mind that the service like I offer. Oh, I was looking for somebody like you. And then right now is the point of other wellness practitioners are finding me and want to experience it. For instance, the other day, two people came from other state that, wow, you are doing with this aesthetics. And then I go to the skincare, this esthetician, she may want to do her own business in the future. And then I'm very interested in what you do, because it's not the regular esthetician's work. So can we make appointment and then come over? I was like, sure. Yes. And then the other time, a week ago almost, was somebody who is an acupuncturist. And then she does Reiki too. And she made an appointment. And then she wanted to do the skincare too. She had some concerns. But to me, she has great skin. Really doesn't have to do much. But at the end, she said, oh, you do energy work. And then at the point, oh, she just wanted to check me out too. She didn't know how to articulate, but to say from the front, but she wanted to know what I do. And then we got she wants to come back in the future, and then it's great. So I noticed that there are people thinking about incorporate with the energy work with the other business, and then I'm already putting up front. So now people wants to see how I'm doing it, how I'm getting a client, and then can you be successful?
Well, and I think you're a great example of how you have a business and then you learn quantum touch and you can use it as a tool to benefit your business. Like it complements very well.
Yeah, everybody can do that, because not that I'm special or anything like that. I made a decision that, it's great match, and you don't have to become an energy worker. This is a life skill. You can really start to make the best for everything, anybody. It's a very vague explanation, but you can amplify to make yourself in the best you can be. And when you becoming that, holding a high vibration all the time, surrounding environment, surrounding people will shift. Yes. And then they're going to just become the best version of themselves. So my clients become happier, my family become happier, and I'm happier. And then I feel really grateful to see how they are so happy. I didn't do it. They are doing it. I didn't do. But wow, just learning this, my world really shifted. I don't remember 1 year ago how I was doing, because you always shift. New way of, inspiration, new way of thinking, lighter and happier. Things doesn't stick with you anymore. Yeah.
No, I understand what you mean about like explaining it in vague terms, because it's an energy, it's a feeling, it's hard to put it into words. And I always tell my clients too, it's like, you'll just feel it. You just know, right? It's that moment that you want to linger in, right? It just feels better. There's a reason why you're attracted to it.
Yes. I think one of the great example is, I think people can feel that they don't have to put the guard up or have to fake it. They can be themselves. So that, somehow I feel so natural, I feel so relaxed with you, because that environment is, they don't have to put the guards up and I have to put the game face on. I have to present myself this way to perceive it. They don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, I totally understand that, because I feel it too. I love getting together with the other practitioners and chatting, and it's because they can read your energy and you can't fake it. So right. Naturally calm down, because otherwise, depending who you're talking to, they'll call you out on it, or they just know, right? So now you are an instructor.
Yes.
And you just became an instructor of level 2 too. Right?
Yes.
Cool.
Just I became the brand new level 2 instructor.
So can you talk a bit about your workshops? So how long have you been a level 1 instructor for?
I became a level 1 instructor 2020. So it's not that long ago. I became practitioner 2019. Wow. I'm very new in the organization. I opened my business 2008 and then became a practitioner 2019. So in the meantime, I didn't put out that I'm doing the energy work in upfront or on the website. Even my clients already knew.
Yeah.
But the word of the mouth, but I never put it on online or anything like that.
So what inspired you to become a level 2 instructor?
Well, I must say, at first, when I took the level 1 too, oh my gosh, I'm not going to grasp it to this. It was so much information. I understand that, wow, this is so awesome. Just when you learn energy modality, probably people feel like, wow, last 20 years I was studying under this. It's in this 2 days workshop and then beyond. You learn a lot more than that. And then, wow, people even never done the energy work, they can do the as same as me doing it. So that really easy, simplified, anybody can do, but the real legitimate result that you can see is amazing. So first was, wow, I was overwhelmed. I wanted to learn more. And then I thought maybe I can become up to level 1, but level 2, never. When I took the level 2 class, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can even finish this class. The first time when I took the level 2 class. And there are other instructors, oh, are you gonna become an instructor in the future? I was like, why do you ask me? I don't think I cannot teach that. That's too beyond. Oh, I don't understand many of the things. But now currently I have been taking a class, one of the instructor, Carol Lee. She became my mentor, I would call. She has lots of experience and in depth of every details of the components. Really deeply, she has studied. To me, she's the best teacher. So I have been taking a class, and then one day addressed the issue that, oh, I don't think I can become an instructor level 2. And then she chuckled, and I think she sent some energy to me. All of a sudden, my perception got really different point of view. No, maybe I can do it. I just have to retake it and then study it. Maybe I can aim for it. And then next time, when I attend her class, and she said, Mayumi, how do you feel about that? She asked me about the level 2 advanced class instructor. I said, yes, I would try. And then she chuckled. So I knew she did something for me to nudge and no, you can do, go ahead. Something, she sent it to me, and I am grateful for that. So that's how I decided, I'm gonna persuade it.
Yeah. Do you have workshops posted?
Yes, I do. Yeah, in Japanese, and then English one is in level 1 and level 2 is in July and I think August.
So you run your workshops both in English and Japanese, like you'll do separate, like you would do a Japanese workshop and an English workshop?
If somebody want to join a Japanese class, I will probably translate it, but Japanese class is most of my subscriber of my blog email. Those people will take it, or they found on a website, and then Quantum Touch headquarter website, and then they will join. Those people are Japanese, and the English one is around here. Or my clients, it's very interesting. Many of my clients starting show the interest because I talk about it. I can do the sessions, but when you learn, you can do it every day. You don't have to ask me anymore. It's not because of I want to earn money as an instructor. Yes, it's a business. It's an important part of that. But it's not from the greed, but it's because, you can ask me over and over, but if you learned it, you don't have to do that anymore. You can do it to your family. You can do it to yourself. And your life as a life, it gets better. And then my clients understands that. So quite few of my clients, they are the one shows more interest than my wellness practitioner colleagues. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and that's a reason why I was inspired to be an instructor to become an instructor, because I think it's important to share these services with people, but more important for them to realize this is a life skill that anybody can learn. It's very simple.
I totally agree.
And it's totally a tool that you can give, like once you understand it, you can use it in every aspect of your life. You could share that with your family, with your kids. As a mother myself, to be able to run energy to my kids if they're hurt, or even I love watching movies with them. I love when they sit on my lap and I'll just run energy the entire time we're watching the movie. and it's so special.
Oh, so beautiful.
Right? And then they all just want to crawl on my lap, and I just got to hold them and send energy, and it's just the most beautiful moment. So it's not only if they're hurt or sad that I run the energy, right? It's that joy. And then I have that special moment that I can draw on when I'm running energy in another way.
Cool. Yeah, I see your post on the Instagram, and it's so heartwarming. You know, the love towards your, children, and then, family. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. And it's really cool because it's interesting what my kids, like, it's never a formal with my kids, like, okay, sit down, we're going to run energy for 20 minutes. It's always just kind of an in the moment. And that's what I love about it too. Like, I can just take a couple breaths and just do a couple sweeps maybe of the energy, or if they're sitting longer, or if I'm watching them, I could just run the energy to them. So it's always very informal with my kids, but it's always really interesting. And they pick up on it, especially my 2-year-old now. If one of the boys get hurt, then she'll just like run up and just like put her hands on their shoulder. She'll want to run to them, which is really sweet.
Oh,
I noticed, I think you had mentioned something about how cultures are shifting and about how there's like a lot of healing coming into
anime.
the future. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was
one of my specialty is acne. Skincare clients, and I have lots of teens. Usually the mother or teen themselves, if they are college student, they can start to research by themselves, so contact me. But I have noticed that many of my clients, like high school or teens, their parents bring them to me. I'm sorry,
those dogs know that there's something important that you're going to say.
You're good. Thank you. Okay, so those teens, they usually wear anime. They like anime, and then they wear the manga, the anime T-shirt, and then there's some Japanese word on it. And then I said, "Oh, do you know what that means? That says da 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 da." And then they're like, "Oh, I never know." And then I start to notice, "Oh, I don't know, because I am Japanese. Parents are looking for a specific person, and then they are just coming to me." Or I don't know. And then start watching the anime, and then many of the energy word, those terms are already there. Parents, especially like, Mayumi, do you do the energy work to the children too? When you are doing the, acne facial, can you do the energy work, to my daughter? I was like, oh, okay. Yes, I can do that. And then they are asking for me. So they are somehow already understanding through anime culture and then so forth. And then because Eastern medicine is already there, and it's Eastern culture, it's a medicine. Ayurveda started, and Chinese, TCM, and then Japanese and Korean people, we all have something intangible, meridians, and those things are it's just interweaved with the technology. Seems to be very receptive. And I was very surprised, because 20 years ago, acupuncture, acupressure, oh, what's that? People had no understanding. So, but now it's like, oh, I get the Reiki session. Oh, really? Wow, great. People, oh, I totally believe in that. And then those type of clients are specifically finding me, and I'm like, okay, do you know the word chi? Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, good. So I can talk. I used to have, okay, what's the level of their understanding? Can I talk about this? Because they don't have an Eastern medicine background. So if I start talk about the meridians or anything like that, oh, this person is woo-woo. So I never really start talking about it. But now some of the science finally start to catching up, so they can prove it scientifically too, or equations. So it's the worldwide language that anybody can understand. So make people more receptive and realize that even the teens and then everybody is receptive. So I'm like, wow, this is a great time being a practitioner and then do the work. just how we're going to present ourselves is, I think, more important. Yes.
I think it just comes to a point where the evidence just speaks for itself.
That's
right?
true.
You don't
Yes.
have to prove it because we'll see the result.
Right.
And then, like, how do you explain it? Clearly it works. If you can see it that it's working, clearly it works. And then
sometimes I talk to my client this way. When we turn the key of the car, it just starts. That's what we all know. We don't know that, this gonna trigger the alternator and then this and then engine starts. We don't know all that. But we don't have to just to turn the key or now press the button. And then car starts, and then that's the important part. So you don't have to know or understand everything. Just to press it and it starts. That's all.
That's a great analogy of it. And I really understood that when I did my first workshop. And because within the first couple hours, we learned how to perceive the energy and then how to run the energy. And then the students start to feel it in their hands. And seeing their eyes light up when they felt it was so cool. Because it's so true. Because I, going into my first workshop, I'm like, oh, are they going to understand it? Are they going to get it? Am I going to explain it enough? But just like you said, you don't need to know the whole mechanics of exactly how it happens. It's such a simple process. We just do these steps and you feel it. And once you feel it, that's it. You know it.
Oh, but I have a student a difficult time feeling it. So I always tell them, there are different, perception that you will feel energy. You may start to just know it. You may smell something, you may hear something. So if you don't feel anything today, so you are not doing or you are failure, that's not.
That's not. Point.
Yeah. So I always say that your message. You don't have to be exactly like an instructor because I perceive this way, the way, that's an old way. And I'm sorry to say, but it's old Asian way. You have to become like me and train under me. Right. That's great, but you are a different person. So there are many things probably you can imitate and learn. But you are not going to be exactly like him or her. So you're a failure? No, not at all. You are a totally different being. So I think as an instructor, you have to have a more bigger vision.
I love
and
that.
Then accept that each individual. And if they feel that, I'm failing, we go, no, you find your message. So let's work with it. You will get it sooner or later. I took Reiki class 3 times. Up level 2 that I never wanted to teach. So 3 times I didn't feel anything at all. Everybody said, oh, you're doing it, feeling it. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it at all. I'm a total failure. So even after that, my client said, Mayumi, you should name your menu Reiki facial and do it. I said, thank you, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't feel it, and I really don't know what I'm doing it. So I never be able to put on the menu. I cannot do that. I cannot put the price on that, something that I don't know what I'm doing. So I had a very difficult time perceiving energy. Start the feeling is probably around the 2015.
Interesting.
When I took the Access Bars class. Finally, tingles, maybe this is the one we're talking about. To me, I took for a long time to just feel the energy. So it's not the failure, but always my client said, I feel it, Mayumi. I'm like, really? I don't know. I don't feel it. That was for a long time. And then I was feeling myself as a failure, but it's not. And then thank goodness, lots of experienced instructor, each different instructor taught me the different way. And then they have such a great guidance and wisdom that just to let me grow the way I am. And I'm very grateful. So I try to become that.
Yeah, there must have been some way you perceived the energy because you wouldn't have continued to run the Reiki techniques if you couldn't sense it at all.
I really don't know. I always know it. Have an intention, that's for sure. My strong point is manifestation. From the beginning of my life, I want to accomplish this, or I want to manifest this. I really make it into true. So I don't know, that's I'm going to do this, then happens. I really don't know, but I still don't know.
Well, I mean, the basics of quantum touch is your breath and your intention and awareness, which you would have had all three of those, even if you were trying to do Reiki on your clients, especially if you had the intention that for the betterment of your client, right?
Probably.
And if you had that understanding of manifestation, that you wanted to have a successful business with clients who benefited from your service.
I don't know. Some aspects. I don't know. And it's okay. It's all past, and I can talk about it. Some of the people feel like, wow, really? You weren't believing in Reiki. So I'm a good example. I mean, I was in denial. I knew something intangible exists, yes, from the Eastern medicine, but the Reiki was, I thought like somebody created this, fake, because they never been to Japan and nobody can say that, oh, that's not happening. And then I had a very, doubtful moment for a long time.
Yeah. I guess I'm almost the opposite of you, because when I went to my first workshop, I had no awareness of energy. Like, I didn't even know what a chakra was. I didn't know anything, and I wasn't immersed in any sort of culture that even spoke about energy. I had a very religious upbringing. I went to school and I worked in healthcare, but never an awareness to energy. So I didn't believe that I would be able to do it. And I remember I sat down beside this lovely lady, and she was actually doing this workshop for the second time. And she just kept saying, she's like, oh dear, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Just you wait. You're going to love it. In my mind, I'm like, am I? I don't even know if I fit in here or if I'm going to be able to do this. And I was able to learn the techniques, and I was running the energy, and I was shifting her hips. And I honestly, I was just spaced out afterwards. I was like, what the heck just happened? I was what? I was so amazed that I was actually able to do it.
Yes.
And I could feel it. I could feel it in my fingers, especially
good for you.
Beginning. And
good for you.
I could feel it. And I think that it just shocked me. Cool. So tell me more about the manifestation. How did you come to know that? Did you come from it from a goal-oriented perspective, or energy?
From the beginning of my life, always had the goal. Many occasions I was considered very underdog. That's impossible. I was told in many things that I have achieved, everybody thought it's not from the demeaning. They really thought like, oh, I know you're trying hard, honey, but that's a long shot. Even my parents, many things said, oh, I cannot, but always find a person how they did it. I don't hear anything. I tried that but failed. Okay, you can teach me how you failed. That's what you are. I'm not listening to your opinion. Thank you very much. But I'm gonna find somebody who has really done it, and I will learn from that person. So when the parents say something like that, but it goes and no, I'm gonna just find it, and then I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and then work on it and prove it, and nobody cannot say anything. That's I have done in my life. So manifestation became very easily for me, and then many people surrounding me started saying, well, Mayumi, whenever you say I will do this next, always you do it. So wow, you have a next goal this big, but I know you will do it. That becomes mold, and people gonna start to focus on, oh, Mayumi is already do that, and that helps me out. That I knew that. So they cannot say, I prove it so many times. Those naysayers gonna start saying, oh, I have better not to say anything because she does it. So they gonna leave me alone. I know they cared, but they just worried and feared. And that was their manifestation. I have a totally opposite of I'm accomplishing this, so I want to know how to do it, not the fear. So I learned earlier in my life. So it became very easy for me. And when my clients come, so like, oh, I stumbled this wall, And then you're gonna dig in deeper. What if maybe you are engaged into the fear? Where your focus goes, you're gonna manifest, right? Because you are putting that intention, not the real intention, but you're focusing on it. Whatever you put the energy focusing on it, it's more likely to manifest. So when they said that, no, that's only a possibility and it's not happened yet. So let's stop that. No. So we're gonna do maybe simpler person, maybe simpler way, and this, and then run the energy. So for instance, my facial client one day came and she was in a very stressful, the point that she didn't want to do that as a profession anymore. And one day she came for facial and she told me, Mayumi, I want to do work like you, what I really love. But if I quit my job, I don't know what I really want or I like. I really don't know what I want to do next. So if I quit my job, I don't have an income. So I cannot quit. But the only thing I know is that I don't want to work anymore. I can't do this profession. So I said, okay, if you can quit your job, you don't have to work anymore, and you don't have to worry about your income. You're okay, right? At this point. She said, yeah, but I don't work. No, it's okay. Oh, the mask is drying. I will run the quantum touch. So let's accomplish these two things. There are infinity of possibility that we don't know, and then we'll just you can quit your job and then you don't have to worry about the income, your finances, and then go. And I did the facial, and then she came back 5 weeks later. Mayumi, I got the offer from the company of retirement. She got offered a sovereign package. If she retire, because that was in the COVID time and everything, if you quit in month later, so when she came was just 10 days or 2 weeks later, she can quit her job. They're gonna pay her whole year of income. If you do the early retirement, that was the severance package. So at least she didn't have to worry about her income next year. Wow. She can quit. And it's like, wow. So I'm not doing it. She did it. We just came up, what's the outcome you want to manifest? That's the key. Don't make it into complicated. What's the core essence of what you really desire? And simple. Okay, this one too. And that's, I think I'm good at it. Identify. Wow. Oh, you are overthinking it. No, what you're going to accomplish is this and this. If this comes in true, you're okay right now, correct? Yeah. You don't have to worry about how it happens, but if there are possibility, and then we just connect to that and then just do. Yeah. And then she, on top of that, she didn't have to worry about the year of income. Not only that, she researched her finances, and actually she is well off. Her finances is fine. She's happily ever after. So she doesn't have to worry about her finances.
That's so cool.
Anymore after reverse. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's very cool. You don't have to worry about money anymore. So good for you. And how fascinating and how fantastic is that? Nobody thought of this possibility, but it's something out there in the quantum field. So don't limit yourself, and then just come up with the very simplified core true desire. What's the core essence? And then go and do it. Yes. So that type of thing I do often. Yes. I called it breakthrough session. Okay, we'll do the breakthrough session. Now we're going to go through, and then always I tell the students too, when they come, I don't know what I found you, and then I have this condition, can you work with me? And then the more you start to work, wow, I never done this type of thing before. Can I do it? Those type of offers start to coming to you. And then you're going to worry, I'm going to no, I never done it before. So I'm going to ask my mentor to take this client because I don't know. It's not about you. When they come in to see you and they want to do the session with you, already higher up engagement is, let's work with it. You are the person that I resonate with you most and then can make a best outcome. That's why I'm coming to you. So 80% at that moment when they contact you is already done success. Another 20%, 10% is when the clients get worried, you have to shift that vector into the outcome. So you are not gonna say, I'm not sure if not gonna manifest or not, because your higher self have to accept it. I don't know, I can run the energy. If you are answering like that, then this person is gonna think like, maybe she's not gonna be the person that bring that outcome. So, okay, you don't have to say I can do it or anything because you're not doing it. But the only you can say is that, when you found me is not coincident. Something up there, much made it is making already happened, and then I was the best candidate. So I will do my best. And then you have to carry yourself that, okay, this is the moment of truth. You're going to put your 100% and be in this moment and then do the best you can do. So that's it. And it happens all the time. And you're not doing it. You are just holding that space. You're not responsible, but you are getting that high vibrancy amplified and keep on vibration higher and higher, and then hold the space for that person to utilize it. That's all you are doing.
And I really love how you combined it with the facials, because I think that's a very grounding and almost like a neutral way of introducing it to people, because people understand what it means to just lay down and accept a facial, because everyone knows that feels good. So you already know it's going to feel good. So I feel like that's a really cool way to offer it, and to kind of break down the barrier of doubt, maybe.
Many people falling down the sleep, they are going to the really deep, like a power nap. So I have a very busy clients, and then they're like, oh my gosh, Mayumi, you knocked me out. This 1 hour, and wow, I really in a deep sleep or somewhere. Oh, good for you. You got the great power nap. Enjoy your rest of the day. Some of my clients say, oh, Mayumi, I really love your session. When I come for you, my skin gets glowing, gets better. Pain many of them go away, and my stress gonna be released, and then things move forward. So some of the people say, oh, I consider you as a therapist, and then I'm coming for you. Whatever, other things they may cut out, but my, work is priority. So I'm really grateful for that. So I try to do my best.
Yeah, cool. Well, your energy shines through, and I can feel it. It's awesome. I wish I was closer. Probably only a couple hours drive. I think I'm just north of you. But maybe one day I'll get to come and visit you.
Thank you.
This has been so great. I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to chat. And if people want to learn more about you and your business, how can they find you?
The best way is my skincare website, Beauty Within, and then maybe Skincare by Mayumi. Then you may be able to find it.
Cool. Awesome. And I'll link that all in the comments so people can see it. Well, thank you so much, Mayumi, for joining us. It was lovely to chat with you.
Thank you for inviting me.